Hey, it's a Monday lock and load broadcast. Keeping you up to date on all the insanity in the world, gun news and news. And this is your host, the Hawaii Volcano Squad.
Last best hope of humankind.
Right. Thank you, Arnold. Well, anyway, let's get straight into all the crazy news that's been going on. And I'm going to share some of my latest preps in regard to the news. So hang on. Here we go. Oh. In case 1Q wasn't enough, 2 is better, I guess. So the first thing that's happened is North Korea has said that nuclear war is inevitable, according to them. But we already knew that because Arnold told us that, right? When did he tell us that? Oh, here it is.
Judgment Day is inevitable.
Right. Well, I guess Kim Jong-un agrees with him. So this week, let's see what my interesting preps are. Let me turn on my camera and show you guys. As I mentioned on Ollie's show, I've got this little reactive skin decontamination lotion kit from Emergent Biosolutions. Same one that the military uses. I don't know if you can read all this stuff on here. Let me put a light on it. I don't know if it'll help or not. Make it just wash it all out. I will give you the webpage for this. I'll just screen share that too. So basically, it's not something you need unless you've been. It's not a prophylactic. It's reactive. So it's only you only use it after you've been hit with a chemical attack. And so if you've watched like what's that movie with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage? The Rock. Yeah, The Rock. You don't need to inject yourself with in the heart with some syringe. You just wipe all this stuff off, and it's good for mustard gas, VX gas, and well, I'll give you the whole. Let me screen share the page with you guys real quick. Hey there, Squib, you made it. All right, well, Squib gets his internet stuff in gear. Let me see if I could screen share that page. Here it is. So rsdlready.com, and hopefully you guys can see this if I hit the screen share button, right? And it was like $50 for one lotion, but I guess it's something, one of those things, insurance policies you hope you never need to use. But I added it to my preps, and hopefully there is no chemical warfare, but I'll be able to at least survive the initial chemical exchange, I guess, hopefully, if there is one in between the gas mask and the if they're chemical war, if they decide they don't want to use nukes, they just want to do biochemical warfare or something nasty like that. So you guys can check that out if you're preppers and are into that sort of thing. Hopefully Squib makes it on. Let's see what else is going on in the wide world. Oh yeah, in that screen share. I have to press so many buttons to do a chat. Hey Squib, you with us?
Yeah.
How are things in Michigan?
Snowy.
You know, I was watching the Weather Channel last night. Something that old guys do. And they had an interesting show on the Marines winter warfare facility in the Sierra Nevada. That they call it Camp Leake. And I didn't know.
It's in Nevada on an Army base.
And it was very interesting. Their attitude was that the environment is the enemy. And it had a lot of interesting survival concepts. as far as like digging, like after you dig a trench, you need to dig a cold hole, because the cold air sinks, and so if you dig a hole on one side of your trench for the cold air to go down into, then your body heat will stay around the trench level. The cold air will sink into the hole, and then your trench will be where you're sleeping, I suppose, will be a little warmer. And it was just an interesting show. I didn't know. It was basically the response to Korea, and I didn't even know that the Marines had ever planned to fight in that kind of weather, but they apparently have a camp where they teach winter warfare and winter survival, and they even had a bow drill in there. I was like, oh no, somebody just bring a fucking lighter. But yeah.
No, you have to earn it. You have to earn it. You start off making fire by hand, and then after you've been able to prove that you can successfully do it on your own in a timely fashion, then they give you a magnesium fire starter as a reward.
Have you attended that camp?
No, I haven't, but I know about it. I did my cold weather training in the French Alps, so.
That's cold too. It was a very interesting show. I mean, the part that I looked the most painful was when they made everybody, they blew a hole in the ice, and they made everyone had to jump in and then get them with their gear and then get themselves out of the water underneath it and get back out of the hole. And the first step was you have to take off your pack and get your pack out, because that would weigh you down. And then they'd have to crawl out using their, ski pole as traction to drag themselves out of the icy water and back onto the snow. And that it was really, they had really one funny scene where they had like a PX, which was basically a tarp, and they would sell all kinds of stuff like Pop-Tarts and chewing gum and stuff like that. And so the guy said the guy doing the show for the Weather Channel says, well, what do you take? Do you take Bitcoin? And he said, no. He said, we only take cash. Like, okay, so for $10, I think he got a Pop-Tart and something else. And I guess they made him feel better. But it was an interesting training. And they also had, they talked about all the tactics about basically chopping down trees to close off roads and make the enemy go where you want them to go instead of them going where they want to go. And it was very interesting, considering it was just the Weather Channel. And let's see, in the world of guns, I got something from the Gun Owners of America one of their take action alerts. Let me see if I could screen share that too. It was on, they called it the traffic ticket gun ban bill, Senate bill. I think it was the Fixed NICS. Also, I'm not sure. Let me get the bill number for you. Senate Bill S2135. Let me do a screen share of this really quick. Start screen share. Okay, so they started the first hearings it says the most serious gun control threat in over a decade for a bill that has serious chance of passing. Oh, let's see. So basically, if you go on vacation and get a traffic ticket and you don't pay it, and you just leave the state, and then you can get banned. You can be disqualified from owning a firearm. And then they come and knock on your door and say, give up your guns, which won't be fun for anybody. So anyway, I sent in another don't vote for this crappy bill to my Hawaii senator, so I'm sure we'll vote for this crappy bill. But I like to stay active on Second Amendment issues, and that's Gun Owners of America. It's really, it costs them money to put up these things. You just enter your name and your zip code, and I already did all that, and it'll send it to whoever your senator is, like a letter pre-written letter telling him why you hate the bill. So yeah, please don't vote for it. So other news today, let's see, gold is going for $12.35. I think silver is $15.80. Gold's going for $12.43.50. It looks like. So these are the manipulated prices. It's been a crazy week for the economy. It's really funny. Everybody, they have the impeach Trump thing in the House the other day, and people really need to think what would happen if Trump got impeached, or just said, I'm going to do something else. Somebody else, you can be president, and or the Democrats took over. The stock market would sell off, and the Democrats would be like, call up the Federal Reserve, and they'd say, let's just print more money. That'll fix everything. And it would just crater the economy. And there would be a currency and banking crisis like almost overnight if the Democrats took over. But we're not there yet. We still got Donald Trump trying to do what he can do. And what else? Oh, yeah, let's check out our Russian propaganda on Zero Hedge. Let's see what's happening on Zero Hedge. There's been a lot of crazy news. I think Bolivia discovered like $3 billion worth that they didn't, or they were shocked to realize that they owned $3 billion worth of cryptocurrency because they seized the laptop of some crime organization or something, and who had all their money on this laptop in cryptocurrency. So they were like, wait, we've got $3 billion worth of crypto? It's like, okay, they're going to have to figure out how to spend it. What else is going on? Ex-spy chief admits role in deep state intelligence war on Trump. So this is the Russian propaganda website, Zero Hedge. Bitcoin futures tumble as spot arbitrage collapses. Let's see. Bama blowout. Latest Fox News poll shows Doug Jones with a commanding 10-point lead over Moore. It's really hard to conceive of Alabama with a left-wing liberal in the Senate representing him, but I think Charles Barkley is campaigning for him. He was on the Dream Team, Charles Barkley, but I don't share his politics. NFL's problem, poor product, or not. Hey, Squibb, did you see my new American flag? I sent a photograph.
You put it on the deck.
Yeah. Did I put it up wrong or anything? Because somebody was saying it should be flipped around the other way.
I thought the blue field was facing in the wrong direction, unless I was looking at it. I don't know. Last time I said that, I screwed up because I said it, and then I realized right after I clicked send comment that the camera was reversed. Because Travis P11 had one in the background that was backwards. And after I said, hey, man, the flag's backwards. And then after I hit send, I thought, what if the camera was seeing it reverse? So I don't know if yours was...
It was just my Android 3 cell phone that I took the picture with. I'll try and take some video and you can tell me. But, I mean, it's hanging top to bottom because the grommets are on the top, and it's two carabiners hung on my shade, sunscreen shade, so it's hanging from the, what do you call that side of the flag? Well, and you saw how
the field of stars or something like that. Yeah, I thought that had to be facing. Let's see, if you're looking at it, it's got to be on the left if you're looking at it, right?
Yeah, it is on the left.
I mean, correct?
Yeah.
It is? Okay. Then I think that's, I believe it's supposed to be on the left if you're looking at it.
But if I'm looking at it from the outside in, if I'm looking at it from outside instead of from inside out, from my condo window out, and so I'm looking at it from the outside in, it would be on the right. But if I'm looking at it from the condo out, it'd be on the left. So I didn't know there was anything in the flag code that actually indicated if you hang it that way, what way it's supposed to face. But you would know better than me. So
even I screw up every so often, forget something or get it confused with something else. But yeah, I thought it. Maybe it's if it's up against something. I can't. But it's got to be in a position that the way I remember it is you got to look at the way there's a patch on a military uniform. If you're serving overseas or you're serving with UN forces or something like that, and you've got the American flag on your shoulder, the flag has to be positioned in a way that it looks like when you're standing still that you're moving forward. It shouldn't be positioned in a way that makes it look like you're backing up, because Americans don't retreat. So what I thought was weird was I'm watching the Army.
We just attack in a different direction.
Well, that's the Marines, but yeah. I was watching the Army-Navy game, and the Navy uniforms, they had the flag in the correct position on the uniform, but the Army uniform, I'm there shaking my head going, some civilian must have designed these because they had the flag on there backwards. So, oops. Even though they won, damn.
How come the Marines don't have a football team?
We do. The Navy team has Marines on it.
Oh, I didn't know that the Navy football team represents the Marines too. Oh, okay.
There are midshipmen in Annapolis who become Marine Corps officers. It's there for it's Navy. The Marine Corps is a branch of the Navy. Oh, choke on those words. But yeah, no, we're part of the Navy.
That
So there are midshipmen that become Marine Corps officers. It's not all sailors over there, but it's all under Navy, and you have the same. It's all done the same way. If you look on the sidelines, you'll see Marines in their Service Alpha uniforms. So,
well, I've basically not been watching football because of the whole flag thing. But I'm sure at the Army Navy, nobody took a knee for the flag or national anthem.
Yeah. We gave up the NFL like Dusty, but we still watch college. But we prefer college anyhow over the NFL. So.
Well, I used to like the NFL more until this whole anthem and take a knee thing started, because I just thought the talent level was a lot higher than in college, and so, but it's apparently the stupidity level is also a lot higher. So, in any event, what else was I going to rant about? Oh yeah, in another big news story. This may surprise anybody who's Jewish, but because even though Jerusalem has been the capital of the Jewish people since before Christ was born, Donald Trump decided to finally move the embassy there, the United States Embassy, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and all the Europeans are upset. And I got to tell you why I think they're upset is because they've all been brainwashed by Nazi propaganda. And much of the world has been brainwashed about one thing or another through the mass media. And I got to say, the Nazis sent down Otto Skorzeny. He was hired after hanging around Germany after the occupation and just trying to kill a few hundred occupying troops. They figured out that was pointless. So the Arabs, Gamal Abdel Nasser, hired him to basically, he was their military advisor. He trained Yasser Arafat. They have the same goal they've always had, to exterminate all the Jewish people. So if people are really upset in Europe, it's because they've been brainwashed by Nazi propaganda. And we could really care less, because, I mean, saying Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, this is like saying the sky is blue and then people riot and throw rocks at police and stuff. It just makes no sense to me. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but people get brainwashed over time about a great many things. And I think, like Yoda said with Star Wars coming out, you have to unlearn what you've learned from years and years of mass media. In my opinion, the Hamas, the PLO, they're not just terrorist organizations. They're a bunch of Nazis, and Jews have just as much of a right to be in Jerusalem as the Palestinians. And if they ever actually get a peace treaty, I mean, the leader of the Palestinians won't even meet with the Vice President of the United States. which is just stupid on their part. They never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. And so it's like the reason that the rest of the world, nobody else had an embassy in Jerusalem, is because all of Europe has been brainwashed about a great many things for a great many years. And that's just one of them. But I'm really happy that we've got President Trump. I'm really glad I voted for the guy. That won't fix anything, moving the embassy there, but it's a start. And because every presidential candidate has actually promised to do that for like going back 5 or 6 presidential candidates, and somebody finally did it, or at least he started the ball in motion. They got to get architects and stuff like that together and build something. What else has been going on this planet? So we got the Korea. So
the company that'll put the roof on that embassy is based out of Michigan.
Why did they pick them?
The company that does all the roof installation and repairs at all the embassies and consulates across the world is in Howell, Michigan. So build another building, keeping my friends employed.
Oh, well, that's cool. Wow, you could have got a job. I know that they when they made that decision, they sent I forgot what force it was, the fast force or something, to reinforce all the embassies all around the world with extra military personnel in case there was violence.
Well, as far as maintaining them, they actually have to use American materials and American labor.
Yeah, that's another thing that I think Americans have been brainwashed. It just seems to me that over the years, America's economy, after World War II, people used to come to America. If they wanted to build or produce anything, they came to America because we had all this manufacturing might. And now we're mostly a consumer-based economy. It's a consumer economy, and we don't build as much anymore. I know Trump's trying to change that, but we just what we export the most of, like the Russians used to export the most AK-47s because that was their export to the world. You know what the U.S. exports more than anything? Dollars. And we can just keep printing them up and exporting them and printing them up and exporting them. I mean, we got a printing press, so we know how to use it. And so it's just so many things have been changed over the years, and just very subtly, everything has changed for the economy. And they'll try and do that with Second Amendment rights and freedom because, I mean, but money is important. So sometimes I talk about crypto, but it's people's concept of what is money. Money is power, is what it is. It's been used that way. And I'm sure very soon we'll witness some demonstrations of money being power. I think that was why China wanted to make nice to Donald Trump, because when he said, "Okay, we're gonna just not trade with anybody that supports North Korea," I mean, that was a direct threat to China. I mean, we're not going to take any Chinese good. I mean, first of all, if they want to crash the yuan, the Chinese yuan, their currency, all the Treasury Secretary has to do is open up his laptop and take a bunch of hypothecated US dollars and put them into trade bots and just short the hell out of the Chinese yuan, and it will plummet to like almost nothing overnight. And their economy won't be dead, but their currency will. And they'll be forced to use dollars. And it's not like a threat that people talk about, but it's one of those money is power things. People still use the dollar for everything. And it's just amazing the whole fiat currency system. I don't know if it's ever going to collapse, but one thing, if it does, I think you'll be very happy with all the silver investments you have over the years, and just buying presents for your family and stuff. I think over time that'll do very well for you. But I think the economy is still in trouble, and I just hope the people are prepared. I hope Kim Jong-un doesn't actually try and start World War III or start a nuclear war, it won't turn out well for him, but a lot of people could get killed if he does. So anyway, let's see what other preps I've got. Oh, yeah, my new tarp. I'll show you guys that. I'm not going to, like, deploy it in my condo here, but I'll just see. It's a 21 tie-out tarp, reinforced tie-outs from a company called Lost Wilds. Come on, where's the button? Camera. Hey guys, so there's the company. Oh, it's upside down, backwards. Having the same problem with the flag. Lost Wild Outdoors. Here's the tarp. They called it heavyweight, but it's 21 tie-outs. It's a little over 9 feet by 9 feet, and one more tarp to my tarp collection. Can't be a prepper without a tarp. Hopefully, I prefer to live indoors, but shit hits the fan, you never know. At least it's not freezing in Hawaii. We don't have the winter warfare school over here. There is snow up on the top of Mauna Kea. So is it going to be a cold winter back east? Because I've been getting a lot of emails from vendors and all the tactical vendors I usually get about cold weather gear. It's like, well, I don't really need that, but it's interesting. Oh, I'm going to show you guys this too while I'm here. I've been trying to think of a good question to give away one of these, but I picked up a new patch too. The Don't Tread on Me patch. And I liked it. So I got two of them. If I could actually think of a tough question, a gun kind of a question, I'll do a giveaway of one of them, but that might take me a little while. And where's the book that I'm reading? I got the book. Yeah, here it is. I started reading this book. I'll have something to say about it next week's show. Left of Bang. This is something we talked about a ways back. And I think we talked about it. I don't know, was it in a lobby or Ed's show? I can't even remember. Dana was reading it. I remember that. And basically, it's the Marine Corps Combat Hunter book. It's about that program. And basically, what Left of Bang means is bang is like when an IED explodes or there's an ambush. And in Afghanistan, at one point, all the Marines were doing was reacting to the bang, which is right of bang. And so what they wanted to train people to do was to be left of bang, which means ahead of the IED or the ambush. And so they would look for specific things and to indicators that there was an IED or an ambush, and then they would be hunting the hunters, so to speak. And so that's called the combat hunting program. And so when I get more into it, finish reading it, I only got the book a couple days ago, and it's on my reading list, and I've been slowly getting through it. And I'll have something else to say about that next week. So let's see, other than what else have I been doing? Not too much. Let's see, I've been watching some interesting movies, but Big Cat Week on Nat Geo Wild. They had Jaguar versus Crocodile last night, and I just love watching those big cats. Personally, I'd rather have a dog as a pet, but those big hunting cats are just amazing animals. So if you want to learn how to hunt something, watch a cat. They're pretty good at it. So what's been happening over there? I sent Dusty a link, but he did tell me he might have some medical procedure, like when our show was. Not going into any details on it, but he wasn't looking forward to it, but he might have to do it, kind of a thing. He's not in any major trouble or anything like that. It's just one of those things you schedule and have to do from time to time. And so hopefully he'll be back okay on next week's show, or I don't know if he'll make it tonight or not. I sent him a link because I'm not sure exactly what days he was going to be in the hospital or not. So I think we talked about it after last week's show. You been on any? Are you doing or are you going to be doing any more visits to naval museums, or do you have old pictures saved up you haven't shared yet?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to do one on the USS Alabama. I was thinking about that today, especially since I won't be able to jump into shows here in the near future. I'll be going to second shift, I think, in the beginning of the year. So what I might be able to do is jump in for like 10 minutes on my lunch break.
Wow.
That's not long enough to do a shift, but yeah, I was thinking about actually trying to get together some pictures that we took in the see, when did we go out there? No, was it?
Well, we can always
July.
just do a show when it's convenient for you, and then on the ship, and then people can just watch it. It doesn't, have to be at the usual scheduled time.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't want you to go out of your way for me. It's your show.
Hey, yeah, well, it's been my honor to have you on it. Truly, I mean, it's just been great, and I know work comes first, and you got to do that stuff, take care of the family, keep the bills paid. But it's been my honor to have you on my show, and
I'm kind of hoping that Jared gets a break here from school so he can jump in a little earlier, maybe.
Yeah, well,
have you heard? Did he say anything about taking winter break or?
No, I haven't heard much from him. I'll go check the externals and stuff in a minute. I don't know if he's watching now. But
he might be in class.
Yeah, people have responsibilities and lives. There's lives outside of the internet and bubble, or whatever people call it. But so, do you think there's any point in people preparing in case World War III starts, or there's a nuclear war or an EMP with North Korea? I mean,
well, I mean, I make sure I got a full tank of gas all the time. No, I'm not. I don't know. I just.
Do you consider yourself a prepper or just a regular person or what?
Amateur prepper. I like the idea of prepping and some of the things I do. Somebody might consider prepping, and I guess it is in a way, but I mean, like hardcore, have a bunker. No, not that I'm against having a bunker. I think it'd make a bitchin' wine cellar, but
I'd be happy with a bitchin' wine cellar myself.
Well, when I think of a prepper, I think of one of those people on Doomsday Preppers, and I'm not there. A lot of those people had money, so
a lot of those people were just crazy, and then they made it interesting people to talk about for a show, but they weren't. I didn't even think some of them were preppers. They were just nuts.
A lot of them seem to be trying to sell a product too, but yeah, I would be more your stereotypical prepper if my wife ever wins the lottery. So
yeah, money makes things. Money is power. You can do things if you get enough of it together, I guess. And it's interesting. Let's see, what else do I got? Check my Russian propaganda.
Again with the Russians.
Well, see, I blame the whole Russian thing on Red Dawn. I mean, where is it? It was this guy's fault.
Russians need to take us in one piece. That's why they're here now.
So, anyway, It's what's that?
Or anybody Warsaw Pact?
Well, there isn't much of a Warsaw Pact anymore.
Well, there was. I mean, back then, because right now I'm cleaning a Warsaw Pact firearm, so, but it's not Russian.
What is it?
It's a Polish P64.
Polish P64. Yeah. Wow. I'm not too familiar with that. Is that a pistol?
Yeah. So picture a PPK chambered in 9x18 Makarov.
Is that called the Radom? Or Random or whatever? What it was? Radom? Or is that something different?
Radom is the city in Poland where the arsenal is, where they've made all kinds of different stuff there. I think but I think the original factory isn't still there. But yeah, they've made all kinds of. I don't know if they made any rifles there. They probably did, but I know they made handguns there for sure. Not just this, but other ones. I think the P35. That's one I really want. That it looks. They call it a Viz, not a P35. Maybe. Yeah, that might have been a designation. Viz, VIS. It's a 9mm handgun. Polish army had in the 30s, and when the Nazis went in there, they took it over and started manufacturing them. Their
Slave
guys.
labor.
It looks like a 1911, but it's 9mm. They're out there. You just gotta look for them.
I'm going to say hi to Patrick in Ohio, 45 ACP out on the gun channel side, and thanks for cruising on over. If you guys want a link, just type something in the chat. And let's see what else.
Yeah, thanks for saying. I'm not on my desktop upstairs where I can see the chat or YouTube or anything. I'm on my phone downstairs at my reload bench. So
That's cool. I don't even know how to get my phone to work with Hangouts. I think I've got Hangouts on it, but I tried once and it didn't work. But whatever. I managed to get my laptop to work sometimes, and that's about it. To do enough to host a show and mine Bitcoin from time to time. And that's about it. I had something else. Oh yeah, I wanted to just put it on my show. What we talked about in the Oilies chat. So once again, we talked about this. The Sammy Prepper from Down Under had asked me the question, "What's the difference between a hillbilly and a hick?" And you guys said that hillbillies are in the hills, so I would guess from Kentucky or Tennessee, and hicks are just what again?
okay, look here, you California city boy.
I've made my way back to the country. I'm on an island in the middle of nowhere. So.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, somebody at work was talking to me about Hawaii today, saying how they look at all these pictures from their parents or in-laws, something like that, and they said, every picture there's a chicken in the background. I said, yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, and what's wrong with that? I mean, but I have some pictures. I sent Dusty a link because he was thinking about eventually coming out and paying a visit. So if you look at if you're on gun channels and you're not on your phone, you can actually see the picture of the sunrise there. There's actually a house, a vacation rental there called the Sunrise House, and I'm going to see if I could pull up the link for you guys because it's a really beautiful place. I stayed there and it's just great. So let me see if I could dig up the link from my sent mail that I sent to Dusty. I've got some really awesome pictures of it, but including the tide pool with that where the eel was, which I think I showed on again Oilies Hangout. Let's see, open a new tab, right? here it is. All right, back to the screen share button. And all right, so this is a vacation rental called the Sunrise House at Kapoho. And it's like, there's the ocean, there's like the backyard. And it's basically location. It's like a little tiny 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom that hooks up to both bedrooms and a kitchen and just a great backyard. There's like the living room and kitchen. There's a coffee pot. You can see the ocean and looking out at it. And I'll get to a picture of the tide pool in a minute. It was a comfortable place to relax, and when I say this is the very east tip of Hawaii. It's more like Hawaii like it used to be, and it's really a jungle on the edge of the world. I think the first time you drive up to this place, it just looks like you're in the jungle until you park your car and actually walk out to the ocean. and there it is. There's a tide pool where the eels were. And basically it's 7 feet deep. You can just jump in. And of course it gets filled up more when there's high tide and the tide comes over the tide pool wall. There's also like a little hole that connects so the fish can swim in and out. But it's basically, it's a really absolutely incredible vacation house. Just some steps walking down to the tide pool. And that's the backyard from the driveway to where the ocean is. And that's the steps down into the tide pool. And the eels live, like, I think right there. I'll try and dig up the photos of the eels that I took there. But those eels, they don't come out unless you throw food out. So the eels live, like, right in this crevasse, right there. And this is like the last step. And so you can go swimming in there and they won't come out and bother you. But if you throw out some food into the middle of the tide pool, a big enough chunk of bread, they'll come out and you'll see that they're like 7 feet long or something, and they swim like sideways. And basically all the vacationers feed the eels because most people don't have a pet eel in their tide pool. So, but what happens every morning is, it's a really interesting microclimate because it's being on the east tip of Hawaii. All the rain, when the sun comes up, all the clouds just move on in, and all the moisture just gets dumped in like 10 or 15 minutes. And so for about 10 or 15 minutes at like 5 in the morning, it pours, and then the clouds just keep moving up the hill, and they keep going uphill until they eventually stop, like halfway up the volcano. And rain up there. But for the rest of the day down in Kapoho, it's just blue skies all day. But you get all the water you need. This particular place in the beach lot, they have piped water. It's all, it's not catchment. But there's a lot of places in Hawaii that is just catchment. But if it was catchment, you could get all the rain you need to live for the rest of your day in like the first 15 minutes of the sunrise. And so the picture I think of on gunchannels.com/HVS is of the picture that I took from the sunrise house there in Kapoho. But anyway, so I just thought I'd share that with you. If you ever visit the Big Island, it's flipping an awesome place to rent out. There's bigger resorts on this side of the island that I live on, like Kapuna Prince and stuff like that. But this place rocks. As far as it's more like old Hawaii like it used to be. There's a road that runs around the east tip called Red Road. And at one point they had to move it because part of it was underwater. And basically it was gravel mixed with red World War II bunker dirt or some bunker oil or bunker diesel, or I don't know what it was called, but basically the whole road used to be red gravel, and eventually they paved it, and so they're just red gravel on the side. And red t-shirts are a big thing, but It's a pretty awesome vacation house rental, and so it's a tiny little house, but it's just location, location, location. Most people don't have their own private tide pool anyway. So there's your brief vacation to Hawaii. Oh wow, Dusty made it. How are things over there on the farm, Dusty? Oh, I guess his mic ain't working yet.
I'm wondering if the weather might be interfering.
Is it snowing over there in Michigan?
Is it working now?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You have to turn it on for it to work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, imagine that. It's not snowing yet, but that's what I'm doing tonight. Is I'm
Snowing?
trying to get all my toys put away in the barn because we're supposed to get a major snowstorm tomorrow.
Wow. Here's your chance to build an ice fort or an igloo or a snowman.
So I've got the combine in the barn. I've got a tractor and sprayer to put in, rock picker and another tractor, and I'm just trying to get everything locked in the barn and put away for the winter.
Locked and loaded.
Yep, there you go.
Oh man, glad you made it. Ah. So, how big is this snowstorm supposed to be? How many feet are you expecting?
It's not a big one, just 4 to 5 inches.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah,
Go out and shovel it.
Now I moved to
No,
Hawaii,
that's-
so I don't have to shovel snow.
well, that's the last job I have to get done today. That's part of the reason I'm putting my equipment away, is so I can find my snowplow, because I'm sure tomorrow I may have to go run my driveways and make a little money. So
Cool. You own a snowplow?
yeah, I have a plow that goes on the front of my pickup truck. And I have about a half a dozen driveways that I contract every year.
Yeah, they had, what was that thing that I had at the Winter Warfare School? It was like a tracked snowplow thing. I forgot what they're called. It was like a tracked vehicle with a snowplow in front of it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of what it is either. Snowcat.
Yeah,
I thought, is that what it was? I thought they had some other word for it. I've heard of snowcats, but so are snowcats tracked vehicles? Because the one they had, I remember on the Weather Channel show, it had like 2 smaller tracks, one in back, well, 4 total. It was like, instead of wheels, it had 2 tracks in back and 2 tracks in front, and they are snowcats. I think they had a military term for it, but I guess a snowcat is a snowcat.
We didn't have any where I was at. So
In the Alps, how did you get stationed in the French Alps exactly?
didn't get stationed there. Did training there with Armataire, the French Army.
Okay.
You'll find Marines all over the place. We're not just on the water, you know.
Oh, yeah. Most likely place to run into one is in a bar, but
Yeah, that is true.
but especially in Hawaii, I mean, there are more veterans per square inch of bar stool in Hawaii than I think anywhere else that I've known of. I've met World War II veterans, World War II bomber pilots. I mean, it's like, I got to the point where I just couldn't buy every veteran a drink anymore because I would have gone broke. There's so many. Which I guess is a good thing. Let's see. So, what else?
Back to your original question. A hick, a hillbilly, a redneck, a yokel, a good old boy. What else?
How about a Youper?
A Yahoo. What's that?
A
A
Youper?
Youper.
No, not a Youper.
Do you know what a Youper is?
Yes, I know what a Youper is, and I wouldn't even categorize them as a subcategory of redneck. Anyhow,
would.
all those terms.
There's a
all
guy
those
with
terms,
a YouTube channel called the Youper, but go ahead.
all those terms are more or less interchangeable. The thing is, if you want to be a little bit more specific, a redneck, like what Jeff Foxworthy used to say, a redneck is not necessarily somebody from the South or somebody from the country. There's a lack of sophistication, but in general, though, it's somebody from the country. There can be rednecks and hicks and hillbillies, and yahoos.
But Sammy's
in the north.
But Sammy's question was, what's the difference between a hillbilly and a hick? And
Pretty much, okay. Hick is just saying, instead of saying a gentleman, you might say dude. I don't know, whatever. There's not really any difference for an outsider looking in. For somebody, okay, think of it like this: Crocodile Dundee would have been a hick. How's that in Australian terms? So
yeah, she's an Australian bushcrafter prepper kind of a channel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she's a bushcrafter if she lives out in the hell are they call the outback, and she doesn't have a condo.
Oh man, you're really just.
She might be a hick.
I don't think she lives in a house. But she practices a lot of bushcrafting and prepping and stuff. But so
a lot of the terms.
So you're saying I can't be a prepper or a bushcrafter because I live in a condo?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you definitely can't be a hick, that's for sure. But
Hicks don't live in condos?
No, hell no.
Now, you said I live in Hickville. Can I be a hick?
Oh, you're definitely a hick, Dusty.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? This is what I can say. It takes one to know one. I am a hick. I am a redneck. I am a hillbilly. I am all that stuff. I'm a yokel. I'm all that stuff. Now, I'm not.
I thought you had to live in a hilly area to be a hillbilly.
No. You have to be from there, or that's your lineage or your family. You don't necessarily have to live there. You could be a redneck from a rural area, living in a trailer park, and you eventually move away from the small town, go to college, and move to the big city. But you still drive a pickup truck or wear cowboy boots,
like
or
the Beverly
say y'all,
Hillbillies.
or eat chicken gizzards or whatever it is that you do.
There are hills in Beverly
You
Hills.
might be a redneck if.
Pretty much, yeah. You know, if you mow your lawn and find an extra car, you might be a redneck. That's actually happened. Yeah, but yeah. So it's his Jeff Foxworthy's explanation of it's a person with a lack of sophistication, really. And maybe you could say, well, those people down there, they talk slow, or those people, they don't have any ambition, or how can somebody live in a drive a pickup truck, with holes in the seat, and they just grow up that way. They're used to it. That's their lifestyle, and it's just. But yeah, it's going well. If you could use the term hick or redneck or hillbilly or any of that stuff interchangeably, pretty much. I mean, to be more specific, yeah, I was always brought up that everybody's a redneck, but if you're from the hills, you're a hillbilly. But if you watch the Billy Ray Cyrus hosted a special about the West Virginia coal mines. He did some documentary, and actually hillbillies and rednecks are actually, according to the documentary, the same thing. It kind of shocked me when I heard that, because the rednecks are miners, hillbilly miners, that had red scarves on when they were on strike, and that's where the term redneck comes from. And hillbilly is a term that was phrased or coined by a big city when going out there to see these country people living in West Virginia, with their outhouses and no electricity and the whole 9 yards, and come up with the whole hillbilly thing. Just like a lot of those poses, the Hatfields and McCoys all posing together with their rifles. That was all done afterward, and everybody ended up marrying everybody's cousin, so they're all related anyhow. and well, for show. But
So so what you're saying is that you're inbred, is what you're saying.
Oh, I'm most definitely inbred. Yes.
So I probably have a lot more viewers if I, instead of Lock and Load, I called it the Gun Channel's Hillbilly Show.
I'm
It's
from North
funny that
Carolina
you
and Alpha's
mentioned that.
from Louisiana. We speak the same language, country. So, and even though I don't like country music, you know, I still, there's enough things about me that are country or southern or
Where are you from
rural
originally?
or. Well, I was born in Japan, but I did most of my growing up. I grew up all over down south, but most of it in North Carolina. So my heart's in North Carolina. Even though I live in Michigan, I've lived in Michigan longer than any other place. You know, I'm more a North Carolinian than a
So you were born on a
Michiganian.
military base in Japan, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. But still, the whole thing is you can find and hillbillies and things like that in the north, and you can find them in other countries. I knew a French guy. His name was Etienne. He was a hillbilly. He even told me, I am what you would call a hillbilly, or he don't pronounce the H, illbilly.
Illbilly.
Yeah, because one day he bought a winch for a pickup truck and asked me if I'd ship it back to France for him. And I go, dude, what's with this? And he goes, we have a pickup truck on the farm, and I can cheaper and ship it back to France than I can buying it there. And he had guns, and you know, he would sit and talk guns and stuff like that. And he's just a good old boy that lived on a farm in France. And he just happened to be in America doing some engineering work. You know, even though the guy was educated and whatnot, he didn't forget his roots. And when he went back to France, he went back to the farm and all that other stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure they're all over, and maybe they have other names for them. I'm sure there's an Australian term for it.
I don't think so, because she really didn't know, but
See, Hawaii, you grew up in the city. You've lived in the city. You're in the city now. You're just, I mean,
you call Kona a city? Are you crazy?
Yeah. You got a Costco. You're a city.
Well, the Costco's about 7 miles away, so if you want
It
to
looks
call
closer on Google Maps.
what is it, 6 miles? The Walmart's like half a mile away. This is about the same distance as the Safeway. But yeah, if I move up onto the volcano, Costco will seem hell and gone. If I get one of those, if I don't have enough money to get that infinity pool place on Kauai, and I have to use my cryptocurrencies at some point to buy a bug out location up in the jungle to build my prepper fortress, then that's hell and gone from Costco. I'll be going to the farmers
Up on the
markets.
volcano. If you move up on the volcano and you don't have the infinity pool, instead you've got that, you know, you've got like a $10, $20, $30 Walmart kiddie pool. And I don't know,
My backyard will be like several 100,000 acres of jungle and a volcano.
yeah, then you might be on your way to being a hick. The Hawaiian hick.
I'd rather be a hillbilly, I think. But all right, give up on this. So Sammy, if you're listening, I hope we answered your question.
Okay, so find out from Sammy what they call people in Australia that live in the outback and are a little bit maybe backwards compared to city people. And then when you get the answer to that, you'd be like, okay, that's a hick.
Well, I mean, there's the Aborigines, but they're native to the land, so they were there before, a long time before any white people showed up and formed a penal colony, whatever it was. Let's see.
Botany Bay.
Oh, the Wrath of Khan. Let's see.
No, that was the landing for the original.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, that's where they get the name of the ship. Yeah.
Yeah, in the original Star Trek TV series episode, Space Seed.
Space Seed. Yep.
And let's see. Oh, what was the other news? We forgot to cover the major news of the day.
There was news.
Yeah, in New York, some incompetent wannabe ISIS terrorist tried to blow up a bomb, and the only person he heard was himself. And now he's talking his head off to the law enforcement. So, I guess he saw some YouTube videos or something. I don't know. He immigrated from Bangladesh, and he was driving a truck for a few years, and then he blew himself up in a wannabe ISIS terrorist attack. So there are idiots out there that want to hurt people, and hopefully we get through the holiday season without any major terrorist attacks. They've been threatening to, but they seem to have lost their base in Syria. I don't know how many of the people were killed in battle of the ISIS terrorist, whatever you call them. But, hopefully a lot of them were.
Some dumb ISIS hick
from Bangladesh. An ISIS hick from Bangladesh. Well, he wasn't a hillbilly. I don't think he was a hillbilly. Well, they have hills in Bangladesh, though. But he was here on some chain immigrant family thing. That's how he got a pass to be here.
See, I bet you he was married to his cousin.
Wouldn't be surprised. Probably attended some funeral, met a cousin. There
you go.
And they did it in the dark. All right, so I'm gonna just check and see if anybody typed anything out there. Let's see.
Yeah, somebody please save us with something interesting.
Let's see. Patrick says, "Hey guys, how's it going? What's a week go for there? The prices on the Volcano. Ohio says he was in Michigan all day today. Ohio 45. I can check the prices on that.
What was he doing? Did he come up here to take more of our?
I don't know. He doesn't say what he was doing in Michigan. He just says he was there all day in Michigan. Ohio 45 ACP.
You know, he also has a Tavor, right?
Yeah, you told me. Arctic Cat is what he said. What we were talking about. I used to have a car that I had a Mustang convertible. I had actually the one from the movie in Basic Instinct, but I had to sell it for a couple of reasons. And one was I only have one parking space in this condo, so my Blazer still works and it's not on blocks. But I did have to put a new remanufactured engine in it.
But if it was on blocks, you'd be hick.
Well, it was on blocks when it was in the shop. They had to put it on blocks to put in the new engine. Anyway, he wanted to know what the price was. I'll see if I still have it up. Let's see. Price, let me reload it. It's not that expensive. I mean, well, it is expensive, but
right.
Compared to other things. The price was, let's see. I'm looking. Looks like the end of January is open for a few days. Not much. Let's see the prices. Rates. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Rates. Nightly rate, 140 a night. Weekly rate, that's in fall. In winter, oh, it's higher in winter. Nightly rate is 185 in winter. Weekly rate's 1,200. In summer, it looks like the cheapest is in fall. It's $930 in September. In fall, it's $930 a week, $140 a day. In winter, it's $185 a day or $1,200 a week. And it's pretty booked. Just looking at the availability button. You could just go to. I'll put the link in the gun channel site if anybody really wants to. Back to gun channels. I have a 2000 Blazer. It's bronze. There's a picture of it in my in the Welcome Back to the Jungle video at the end. There's a picture of the Blazer. Welcome Back to the Jungle video at the very end. Anyway, there's the link to the rates, and you can look at it. If you ever make it out to Hawaii, give me a call. Let me know. I'll show up with a 6-pack and a Tavor or something.
He'll pick you up from the airport in the Blazer.
Well, that airport, the airport that's closest to that side of the island is the Hilo airport. I'm on the whole other side of the island, so.
Yeah, it takes what, a whole 5 minutes to get over there?
No, it takes a hell of a lot more than 5 minutes to get from one side of the island to the other. I blew out my gaskets on my last engine on the Blazer going over the Mauna Kea volcano mountain. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get from this side to that side to the airport on the Hilo side. And it goes, I guess the shortest route would be over Mauna Kea, past the Pahakuloa military training range, target, I guess, firing range. And it's big, up a long medium grade, and then back down it to sea level. Hilo Airport, and then from there it's about an hour and a half to driving from the airport. I'd say, depending on traffic, it's an hour and a half. Depends what time of day. People go in from East Hawaii to Hilo, because that's where all the. If you want to go shopping, Pahoa isn't much of a town. It's the nearest town to the vacation rental, but they got a strip mall there too. For groceries and stuff. It didn't used to be there. There just used to be a Pahoa cash and carry and a health food store. And LeGuin's burned down, was a Mexican restaurant. Pahoa, they used to have a bunch. When I first moved here,
I bet you the chicken was fresh.
Possibly. I'm not a big chicken eater, so, but I do occasionally go there for breakfast and have a scrambled egg or sunny side up egg or something at LeGuin's before it burned down. They have a farmer's market that's really great. I mean, the great things about the farmer's market in Hawaii is that the rain, I mean, it just, like I told you, it comes in right from the ocean. It dumped right onto the everything, including the crops. And so it's like this fresh rainwater. It's not like irrigated with city water. It's just fresh, right? Water. So all the crops, the farmers markets there are incredible in Hawaii. The only thing you have to do is wash your food very carefully to especially your vegetables, because they have that what's that one disease, that rat lungworm. Basically the snails eat the rat droppings, and then the snails go crawl slime all over the vegetables, and it's not, you could Google it. So just wash your vegetables and you'll be okay. But the farmers markets are great, and it's just really incredible variety of some unique tropical stuff, and all the usual stuff you want to pick up at a farmer's market. And they're all over the island. And yeah, they have fresh eggs from all the chickens. I've done a few videos of the local chickens. But yeah, that like where that vacation rental was, it's like a jungle on the edge of the world. It really is. And it's about as far away from civilization as you can get while still being in the United States, I think, unless you guys know someplace else. It's just
Guam.
what's that?
Guam.
That was really funny once when I got like I was trying to save money on buying ammo, and I went to get a just when we still had a Sports Authority, so I got a gift card granny. I bought a gift card for Sports Authority from Gift Card Granny, and they accidentally it wasn't the people who I bought it from. Just in Honolulu at the airport, there's the U.S. Post Office, all the mail sorters sorting. The Hawaii mail sorter is right over the Guam sorter, and my gift card letter got dropped from the Hawaii machine to the Guam machine. And it got sent to Guam. So I was checking the tracking. I was like, why isn't my gift card here yet? And it was in Guam. So I was trying to call the Guam post office, and they're on the other side of the date line. So it's like ahead. It's like, I don't know, they're 18 hours ahead of us. So it's actually tomorrow. But like, anyway, nobody ever answers at the Guam post office. Apparently they don't answer the phone. So, and eventually it got here. And I got a discount. I did a video on it, but I was like, "Where is my?" So I called the Hawaii. How come I called the Hawaii post office and filed a complaint? But I eventually saved some money on some ammo at Sports Authority before they eventually went bankrupt. And I guess all over the country, every Sports Authority closed. And now I have to go to Kona Guns, which will still be open. From what I hear, what the owner said, he's going to be open in 2018. And so far, the government will still be open. They passed a continuing resolution to keep the government running for 2 weeks, which I guess is nice. I don't know if it'll close. That means it'll close for Christmas or be open after Christmas. I don't know what it means. There's so much chaos and mayhem. Speaking of which, I got a pop quiz. Call sign chaos. Who is it? It is a military personnel. Call sign chaos. It's a pop quiz. See if anybody can get it. Let's see, check that YouTube site. Call sign chaos. See if anybody knows who it is. I'll give you one more hint. Call sign chaos. He's a Marine. Squib, you don't know this one?
I didn't serve with him, so
Maybe, but I'm sure you've heard of him.
I mean, trying to remember some of the call signs from the pilots in my squadron.
I don't think he was a pilot. I'll give one more hint. He was a commander of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. Come on, you people. It's not that hard. How many commanders of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force have there been?
Well, considering that it's only really organized during a war, Is it Walter Boomer?
No?
Okay.
He was a Marine general.
There's a lot of them.
Right. Well, they don't put lieutenants in charge of the commander of they don't make lieutenants the commander of the Marine Expeditionary Force. So, all right, I guess nobody wins a patch today. Let's see. Okay, it's Marine General James Mattis, call sign Chaos. Mattis was the commander of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force, commanding all Marines in Iraq. And I believe he's now, Defense Secretary? Secretary of Defense? Haven't been keeping.
Something like that. Mattis was probably a captain when I was in. Sheesh.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, but once Marine, always Marine, so you should know these things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd go drinking with him.
Let's see. All right. So you've got pictures from the USS Alabama. That's the battleship. Yep. That's a battleship. Or so?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. I never really organized them. There's a lot of pictures. I mean, I took a lot more of the Alabama than I did of the New Jersey, but I used our experience on the New Jersey to know what to look for. The Alabama's opened up more, so you have access to a lot more stuff. We got down into the engine room. We got all the way down to the bottom of one of the main guns. So that's something that they don't have access to, or at least they didn't on the New Jersey when we were there. They were talking to us about access.
So was the Alabama? The Alabama wasn't the Iowa class, though, was it?
No, South Dakota class. So it was one class before it. So yeah, the first thing one of my sons said when we got on the ship is, "Where are the missiles?" It's like, no, son, it wasn't modernized in the '80s. So.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm trying to remember all the ships that you've done. You brought pictures to us of,
well, I tell you, we had plans.
What was the last battleship we did a show on? You have pictures?
That was the New Jersey.
That was the New Jersey. Okay, and where was that moored now?
That's in Camden, New Jersey.
Camden, New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, on the Delaware River. This year we were going to go visit a few, but because I started this new job, that's not going to happen. They don't start you off with vacation right off the get-go, which to me it's ridiculous, but whatever. I guess there's a bunch of places that do that. It's like, all right, it's been a while for me since I've had to deal with ridiculous rules like that, but hey, whatever. So I haven't asked them, hey, if I just decide, to take a week off unpaid, are you guys cool with that or not? Because I'm gonna have to find out. So if we do take a vacation this year, I'm not sure where we're gonna go, what we're gonna do, if we're gonna see any ships, but we'd like to.
Is that your favorite thing to do with your family vacations? Go see?
Yeah, it's just something we do. It's not necessarily, no, it's just something that we started doing, and
it's fun.
Yeah, we have fun as a family, so.
It's hard to find stuff that whole family actually likes to do, because usually some people like to do one thing and other people like to do others.
You know what? We still haven't gotten all four of us together to go shooting at the same time, but we all like to go shooting, so.
Can you shoot in your own in your backyard or not where you live?
No. Nope. if I shot on my backyard, it would fly over the railroad tracks on the U.S. Highway 24. That wouldn't be good. The only thing we have back there is a target for my oldest son to throw knives at. So,
Well, that's something. Ohio 45 ACP asks a question. Have you been to Cleveland to tour the USS Cod submarine?
no, that's on the list. We were actually thinking about doing the Cod and then jumping across the border to Pennsylvania and then going to the Flight 93 Memorial. If we do go to Cleveland, I will stop south of there in Valley City. That's where Jeremy Pozderek's got River's Edge Tactical Gun Shop and Range. He's one of the guys on We Like Shooting. Stopped there this year, and he's got a little store behind an Italian restaurant in this tiny little town, and he's building a new. It's going to be all modern facility with an indoor range and classrooms and everything. So he showed me the blueprints for it. It looks pretty good. So maybe next time we're out that way, we'll hit the Cod, and then we'll head on over to the memorial, and then spend the night somewhere, and then swing back and go to Valley City. So
Ohio said he lives by the Cod somewhere.
Okay. Well,
I assume he doesn't live in the submarine, actually, because he says that's where I live. But he lives in Cleveland, I take it.
could swing by and see him. I mean, he was nice enough to come up here to Michigan, so swing by and see him. Thing is, for something like that, going to Cleveland, we could do that on a weekend, and that's something that would suffice as far as a vacation for us, because this new job, they say I'm not going to work a lot of weekends. But
he says go to Dayton Air Force Museum and NO by Pozderek. Whatever that means. No by Pozderek? Not sure what he means.
He's talking about Jeremy Pozderek. He owns River's Edge Tactical.
Oh.
He's the obnoxious Marine on We Like Shooting.
I've seen We Like Shooting
yeah,
a few times, but it's been a while. I haven't watched the show lately. I've been negligent on keeping up with all the gun channels because there's so many of them.
Okay, well, the people down in Valley City would classify as Hicks because you have to get off the highway and you drive you drive on down yonder, and you make a left past the prison, the penitentiary, and there it is, tiny little town.
Left past the penitentiary. But you see, how am I not more of a hick than you guys? Because in order to get to where I live, you have to get on a plane and fly like from where you are, like 12 hours, and then land on some remote island in the middle of nowhere.
Because you're on an island. That's not country living. That's not, no.
Really?
You're
What
you're at a resort, man.
I'm at a resort. Well, a condo with a hot tub is a resort. They call it a resort, but I don't know. Sometimes I think it's more like a penitentiary.
If you're a hick and you have a pool, you bought that pool at Walmart.
I don't think our Walmart sells pools. The Costco
They do. Trust me. Also, if you don't want to do that, you just dig a pool with your backhoe. That's how you know you're a hick.
Ohio says push the cows out of the road, and it's not a penitentiary. It's a county jail. Push the cows out of the road. Well, I've seen donkeys. I've seen donkeys in the road crossing the highway. They used to use the donkeys to load the coffee, to haul the coffee down from the farms and onto the ships in Kona.
Now, I haven't been, as far as other things in in Ohio to do. Yeah, there are a lot of things to do in Ohio. I haven't been to Dayton, to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in, more than 25 years. Yeah, that would be a good one to go to. There's
an Air Force
three things that I'd like to see there.
Sounds interesting to me.
They've got a B-36 there. They've got the XC-99, and they've got an XB-70 Valkyrie there. And those are all two of the planes, there's only one in existence, and the other one, there's only maybe 4 or 5 left in existence. So, I mean, they have other planes there too, but yeah, those would be the 3 that I'd be going for. But yeah, there's a lot of things to do in Ohio.
Well, I'd like to meet you guys one of these days eventually. I don't know when that's going to happen. All I know.
Hey, maybe Dusty will let you drive the combine.
That'll be then. Then will that make me a hick if I drive a combine?
Maybe.
Or just a city slicker on a combine in a form.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's a crazy world when you think about it. But when I was living over by Kapoho, I didn't live in that. I rented that vacation rental one time, but I was only there for a week. I used to live right by there though. And because nobody had ever, the internet made those vacation rentals so popular, and the real estate went up in value beyond ridiculous. But they used to be so dirt cheap. I mean, the owner that owns that house and just rents it out. I mean, he probably paid no more than $40,000 for it when he bought it, and then the internet happened, and people discovered East Hawaii, and it just boomed in the prices. But the problem is with the places like that, living there is different from vacation rentals. I mean, if you live there, it's kind of remote. I mean, the nearest town is Pahoa, and it's not much of a town. It used to be just a gas station, Le Guin's, a Sunday farmer market, a health store, and the Pahoa Cash and Carry, and a row of corrugated tin shacks with drug users, needles all over the place. I mean, literally, I don't know if you guys have lived in areas of the country where there's like just rows of corrugated tin shacks, people living in them, but they used to be like that.
Thought that was Jamaica.
Well, it used to be like they finally tore them all down for sanitation reasons. They said we can't let this go on anymore. And all the druggies would live in these corrugated tin shacks, and they're all, during the day, they're all spread out all over the sidewalks of Pahoa. It's just a one-street town. And eventually they put a strip mall in, and it was like, it completely changed. I mean, the Pahoa Cash and Carry has to shut down because there's a Malama regular kind of a grocery store, which there never used to be. And it was, I mean, I remember the Pahoa Cash and Carry going in there to, it was, I mean, if I wanted to buy a pint of ice cream or something and a bottle of water, it was crazy. Ohio 45 has a link. You should go here when in Ohio, and it has a link to MottsMilitaryMuseum.org. Right?
I think I've heard of that.
Let me copy that link and try and put it up where something that I can share. Let's see. Copy shortcut. I don't know if I could put it on here.
Another place we like to go to down there is the Bass Pro Shop in Perrysburg. The Toledo Zoo is nicer than the Detroit Zoo. And we could go to the North Toledo racetrack to go watch ARCA racing.
Okay, I'm going to screen share the Motts Military Museum website. Let me get this up. Here we go. Screen share. Preserving America's military heritage from the colonial era to current global conflicts. World War II Higgins boats, Memorial Garden, 9/11 Memorial Gathering, Fire Department of New York fire truck. Our mission to educate the public on the importance of America's military past through the documentation, collection, interpretation, and preservation of tangible artifacts and personal stories of the men and women who are serving in the United States Armed Forces. And so, let's see, August 4th, 2018 at 10 a.m., Mott's Military Museum for annual brick dedication at the Memorial Garden. A Higgins boat. So they built the Higgins boat. It says the new Higgins boat building is now complete. Oh, they built a building for the Higgins boat. I see. The Higgins boat is located in its final resting place.
Yeah, they built the Higgins boats down in Narlands.
Narlands.
And they built the LSTs in Evansville, Indiana, and they built the LSMs in Brownsville, Texas. I don't know where they built the LCUs.
Okay, I think my flag, according to this, maybe my flag is backwards. I don't know. Is this how the flag is supposed to be?
Yeah, because if you turned it 90 degrees to the right, and that then it would look like you're advancing because the flag is trailing.
All right, I'll flip it around just to make everybody happy and to try and do everything right. I mean, I like this flag is better than the cheap Walmart flag, with the exception of there's quite a few loose threads, which I used either a knife or a set of nail clippers to try and clean up the loose threads along the stripes. But it's more colorful. With the Walmart petroleum byproduct flag, one side was dull, the other side was bright, and it may have been more an all-weather rig, but it definitely, this new one is a lot brighter. I just had to deal with a lot of little stray threads along the stripes. The corncob pipe that belonged to General Douglas MacArthur. Okay, General Douglas MacArthur. Pronounce that right. See, this embattled flag was flying from the USS Gallup when invasion forces liberated the Philippines, October 17, 1944. BM second class. I'm not sure what BM second class. Mike Palace served on the USS Gallup during this invasion and donated the flag to Mott's Military Museum. All right. Oh. So anything else happening on the world that I missed in the news? We got the North Korea stuff saying that a nuclear war is inevitable. We got the bombing in New York, the failed bombing in New York. He only managed to blow himself up, but unfortunately not enough to shut him up. I don't know. These ISIS people aren't the brightest. Example of brilliance. Oh, Dusty has dropped out. Okay, well, I think we're near the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go because I'm gonna have to get up early in the morning to shovel snow.
All right. Well, if you look, just send me a message on either on the cell phone, text, or on Gun Channels if you have a time when you just want to do share any of your pictures on any naval ships that you visited and get that together. And I'll just do a show then just for that, and outside of the regular Monday stuff. And thanks again for being on my show. It has been my honor to have you on. And
well, I should be able to. I should be able to be on a couple more Mondays here before they put me on second shift, and then I'll just look for a link when I'm on my lunch break if I can take it while the show's on, and just try to pop in for a little bit just to give you a hard time.
Yeah, we can always argue about Bitcoin. I mean, maybe you'll eventually win one of those arguments, but right now it's time for us to get to the chopper. Get to the chopper.
Did McCoy ever win an argument with Spock? No.
I think he did once. There's one show where he actually gets the last word. That was the one where they're both patients in his sick bay, and he tells them both to shut up, and he got the last word. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. If you want to support Tlaloc and Locha, you can always send Bitcoin to the address in the video description, but if you don't, that's okay. Thanks. We just appreciate you watching and sharing in the fun. And be prepared and take care of each other. God bless America. We'll see you next week.